Welcome to day 5, and I am here with Lise. Hello, Lise.
Good morning.
Good morning. So, Lise is a holistic grief specialist who's dedicated to transforming pain into passion. After losing 5 family members, she became unstoppable in her mission to help others heal. And over the past 3 decades, she has been honored with a Human Rights Award for her impactful community social work, which means so incredibly much because grief is something that so many people get stuck in. She recently launched the Grief Warrior Program, a comprehensive toolkit designed to empower healing and kickstart life after loss. Her passion lies in helping people heal through holistic methods, using coaching and workshop facilitation. And welcome. I am so excited to have this conversation, hear this conversation with you because it's such an important topic. Thank you for agreeing to speak.
Thank you for having me out.
Absolutely.
And
Okay.
are we ready to rock
I
and
think
roll?
we're ready to rock and roll. Cool. Let
Okay,
me
great.
just get your slides on here and I will disappear.
Well,
Thanks.
before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge the land that I'm standing on Treaty 6 territory. I'm very grateful to be here, and it hasn't always been an easy journey. It's kind of like this chose me. And now I've lost like 6 close family members since I wrote this presentation. And I just want to share with you that transforming grief is a spiritual growth experience that I've gone through. So I'm just sharing my story. It started about 14 years ago, and I lost 5 family members, and then about a month and a half ago I lost my brother as well. So each loss has had its challenges and heartaches. Losing my parents, and it was like losing my foundations. My brothers, who shared my childhood life with me, who understood me and no one else could, were gone too soon. And my ex husband, despite our differences, was a significant part of our life. We have 2 sons together, and I had a different type of issues to deal with when he passed away. And initially, grief can be extremely overwhelming. And there are days where you don't want to get out of bed, and that insurmountable task of living each life was really dreading and difficult. However, I have my 2 sons to think about, and I felt that I needed to continue on my journey in this life to turn my pain into passion. So I just want to take a moment to acknowledge my loved ones that have passed. As you can see here on the left side to the furthest, here is my brother Jean. He passed in 2015. He had kidney failure. My brother Jacques died in 2020, coming to my mom's funeral. The day before my mom's funeral, he passed away. My father passed away in 2001 from cancer. And then recently, I lost my brother about a month and a half ago to cancer as well. And this is my ex husband who passed away in 2010. So if you have some lights, just turn your camera light on just for a second. And I want you to think about your loved ones. Just think that this is the candle and we're lighting up the room so that we invite those spirits of our loved ones to come in, join us today, because their passing has been extremely difficult on each and every one of us. And know that we can rise to the other side of the pain and become resilient and turn our lives to the best that we can in this life. So, when everyone passes away, I talked about all the different deaths that happened in my family. And that's just some of the explanations about what happened and how the timeline of all of this was extremely impactful on my life. And a lot of people have the grief response that it's overwhelming, that you can't get out of bed, and that it questions, why am I here? Who am I? And I felt that that rug under my feet was pulled out of me, and I felt that void of sadness and despair. And each death created a different understanding of our circle of life. So, death has been a greatest teacher for me. It's really taken me, my grief, to a growth and a spiritual enlightenment that really helped me to recover from where I was at. It taught me about life and living and the rites of passage. What I realized that we are all a part of this great circle of life, and just thinking about the seasons. I teach about the medicine wheel as well as the seasons of life, the cycles of life, the different cycles of being human, from being a baby right to the day that we die. And we are born to live this life and to go back home to the star nation, because we are on this journey of life. And we are all here to share our gift with life until we return back home. The question is how are you going to react to when you lose a loved one, or when they transition to the next world? For myself, I don't use die anymore in my terminology, but that's the body actually does die. However, our spirit lives on forever. So for myself, that really helped me to ignite my understanding that the blood flow in my veins will always be with me. Because when I was told to go for therapy, the therapist said I had to write a goodbye letter. I could never, ever write a goodbye letter to my loved ones, because they're in my blood and life does continue on. When I was at the peak of my saddest moment in my life, I reached out to the universe and I asked the higher power to help me out. And I remember how fragile life can be, because that moment that they leave this life, our life changes forever. The importance of love and the strength of the human spirit can help us to pivot these moments by going into nature and realizing that we too, in the quiet moments of our life, will come to that place of understanding that we are going to face our destiny one day, that we will come to that place. When we go into nature, I allow myself to cry and to let go of all that pain, and allowed myself to shift my perspective, just like the different seasons and the cycles of life. I realize that I too can transition. The spiritual growth. I realized that grief could be a path of spiritual growth. It could open the doors to a deeper self awareness, of compassion, and a renewed sense of purpose. Like I said, I was happy being a social worker for 30 years, working 20 years with the city of Edmonton. But I felt this nudging and this calling, because this thing kept happening to me, losing people that were very significant to me. And I couldn't find what I was looking for. I wanted a holistic program that could help me to heal. And I realized that those losses, and the heartbreaking as they were, the complexities of finding something holistic where it fed my inner self and the universe in a very profound way. This deepened my understanding about my spirit and allowed me to find meaning and the peace in the midst of sorrow. Practical tools that transform me. I will tell you that nature was one of my best medicines. When I lost my mother, I knew at 4:30 in the morning when I got that dreaded call. Hello, Lise, you've lost your mom. And I thought to myself, how am I ever going to live without my life giver? So I went into the bush and I hugged that big old tree. And it's just like that big old oak tree was feeling my emotions. I just cried my eyes out. I sobbed and sobbed. And then I felt that sunshine just radiate down on my face. And the warm wind just blanketed me. And I felt as though she had arrived. My mom had transitioned to the spirit world, and I was here. And it was like there was a calmness and a peace in my soul that I could just feel my ancestors with me and that she was there blanketing me in that moment, that sacred healing moment. It reduced the chaos in me, and in the silence, I could listen to my heart and I can feel the energy of her love transmitting to me. And through that tree, the sunshine and the warm blanket of the wind really helped me to heal my soul. It was simple to make that difference in the world, and it helped me to ground myself into the roots of the earth and to realize that I too can stand like this tree because I was given the best education from my beautiful parents who showed me patterns of how to keep moving forward no matter how difficult it is, even one step at a time. And this became my destiny to create a program that could leave a mark in this life. So, the spiritual practices for grief healing, for myself, it was meditation, mindfulness, and it was also going to sweat lodges and ceremonies that really helped me. So, meditation, it's a powerful spiritual practice that can help individuals with their grief and inner peace by focusing on your breath and in the moment that you're in here and now. It takes away all the clutter and the chaos, and it helps you to connect to your heart and your soul. And it gives that sense of calm and clarity. The mindfulness practice, just reducing all of that chaos and being there without judgment. And I remember listening to the Honopono Ono. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you and thank you. That comes from the Hawaiian traditions. And I would sit there and meditate in my mindfulness, and it really helped me to ground myself and to feel that I am here and I am alive. I had to also give myself permission to grieve because I felt that that pain was so embedded in me. It gave me the opportunity to unlock my pain, to grieve, and let my experience healing through the arts. So, as you can see, this picture on the top, this is called Mystic Mountain. My sacred name is Mountain Woman, and my purpose is to be here in this life, to make a difference to people that are having a difficult time. As you know, that the mountains are very peaceful. However, when they become very powerful, they can rumble and change the world. So in that time, I took it upon myself to write 11 ebooks about my experience from chaos, the crisis, the chaos to peace. It really helped me to navigate my pain by writing. Going to ceremonies and talking to elders really helped me come to terms with my grief. Cultivating gratitude was another technique that I utilized. Every morning I would wake up and I would say my thank yous. I would write down 10 new things that I was grateful for every day. And it really took me from that place of sadness to a place of gratitude. And it's really difficult to be in the place of sadness and gratitude at the same time. So by doing this, I was charting my own way to moving forward. I found the moments of gratitude for love that I shared with those that I lost was totally transformational. Writing down those experiences that I went through. I also wrote down what I'm grateful in the moment to be alive, to be breathing the air that we have, to be living in an environment in Canada where we're safe. I encourage each and every one of you to take some time to reflect on what you're grateful for today. Because no matter how small your gratitude is, it's a move towards peace and hope. So, transforming pain into purpose, it's a journey that we embrace the grieving process. It's important that we embrace it, that it is what it is. Allow your tears to come because that is a part of the healing process. Seeking out support is so critical. Talking to friends, creating your own little ceremonies at home, finding meaning in your experience. When my mom and brother passed away, it was during COVID. We couldn't have no funerals. So what I did was I said I had to create a ceremony at home. So what we did was we had a feast at my house, as well as I created her favorite foods. We had a bonfire outside, and we made a spirit plate for her, and we fed her spirit by putting little bits of food in there, and we prayed with it, and we offered it to the fire. The other option is you can offer it to a tree as well. And that really helped me to move myself forward. Setting new goals for myself was extremely important. It's meaningful and it helps to create the values and passions that you want to succeed in your life. That sense of purpose and direction was very important for me because when I left my work world, I knew that this grief work was really important, not only for me, but to many of the people out there that are still suffering from unresolved grief. We have so many people that are homeless in the streets. A lot of them are dealing with unresolved grief, or people with mental health problems, or people that are not happy in their lives. A lot of times, people are dealing with issues that they haven't resolved as a result of grief. Now, it could be the grief of a loss of a loved one. It could be the grief of a loss of a pet. It could be the grief of a loss of a job or a spouse, due to divorce. So it's really important to understand that all these losses are significant. And you can go through the same processes to healing and transforming the pain into purpose. One more thing that really helped me was giving back, channeling your pain into helping others with through similar experiences. So having a Facebook group with so many people that are going through grief, I give them little insights every day to help them with their grief. So volunteering is also helpful. I used to run a food pantry in Edmonton and feeding hundreds of people every week during COVID. It was a magical time for me because I saw people that were dealing with many more issues than I was. And I was so grateful to be able to help others. So when you're helping others, you don't think about yourself, you think about the other person. So, strategies for finding your strength and purpose, setting those new goals, new dreams. It's important to brainstorm. One of the most fun things that I did for myself was creating my vision boards with my new goals and my new dreams. And they say when you write things down and what you create, your vision boards, it really helps to catapult the healing process, moving your energies into that direction of strength and purpose for life. By focusing on your future, you can achieve the greatness that you are meant to live with positive energy and growth. And it's a great way to channel that grief. Also, I encourage each and every one of you to share your experience collectively because your lessons in this life, we come in as students and teachers. And once our lesson is, hey, we've gone through our lessons, it's important to share it. It's like oral traditions of the old ways to the new ways. And by sharing, now we have all this technology that we can write it down and we can share with multiple people around the world. Our lessons were meant to be shared, not to keep them inside because we know that someone else is going through the same experiences as you are. So it's important to share that information. So, in conclusion, the most important thing is to embrace your journey. That grief is a transformative process and it allows you to go from pain to your potential to lead a profound spiritual growth in your life. It's an opportunity to reflect, to heal, and having the new meaning of life, finding hope. In the midst of grief, it's so important to find that piece of hope. Even in the darkest moments, there is a light that can guide us towards healing and have a transformation. I encourage each and every one of you to navigate the complexities of grief through supporting one another by reaching out and talking to other people. It can be a source of strength. And it's not a source of weakness when you ask for help. It's okay to get help. I sure did. And I got all the help that I needed from this world and also from the spirit world. I now see people that have transitioned on as my spirit guides, my helpers from the other side. And they talk to me every day. Like when my mom and my brother and my dad passed away, the Blue Jays used to show up at my house and I used to feed them. I used to talk to them. They were like little messengers. And it was absolutely beautiful to have that confirmation that although our bodies might die, but our spirits live on. And they say to me that when we pass away, we get a new body when we go into the heavens. So then we can continue on our journey and evolution as a spirit. So I'd like to encourage each and every one of you to navigate through the complexities of grief. Let us support one another and offer compassion and create spaces for understanding. Together, we can find solace and strength in shared experiences. Embrace life. So, right now, we're going to do one little exercise that we do in my Grief Warrior program. Now, a lot of people get stuck in the sadness of grief. However, one thing we forget is that laughter is the best medicine of all. And what we're going to do today is I want you to remember a funny moment that you had with that person. So I want you all to take that memory, and I'm going to share a memory about my mom because it was absolutely hilarious. And I'm going to tell you about the science behind why this is so important for our health. Laughter helps to move the vibrations of the pain. And moving that vibration, you can't be sad and laugh at the same time. So it does something into the brain that really moves things. So The story is my mother was at the kitchen table one day. And what happened was we were having her chicken. You know, she used to do shake and bake chicken, and she had one of the drumsticks. And my mother had false teeth. And she was chewing on her drumstick. And what happened was her teeth come out of her mouth. And we just laughed and laughed. So now I want you all to join me in our laughing. Oh my goodness, mother, that was so hilarious. I can't believe your teeth fell across the kitchen table. Oh my goodness. That chicken is still alive or something. Oh my goodness. It was hilarious. So, incorporating laughter every day in your journey or getting out and doing exercise, it moves some of that pain. So, embrace life, laughter, heal, and keep on being the best that you can be every day. So, as we conclude this journey, I want you to carry with you the lessons that grief is with us. Embrace life fully, and may we find joy, purpose, and renowned sense of self as we continue on our spiritual path. And with that, I would like to close off by having a healing song, because for myself, I really found that going into nature was really, really helpful. And what I found was the bear song really helped me to heal. As you know, many of us that go into ceremony, we do acknowledge that we have helpers out there in the universe to help us out to move our pain. So I'm going to grab this beautiful song for our healing. And if you don't know, just take a moment and we will close off with this beautiful healing song. It's a Nationality Spirit Healing Bear song. Yahoo, yeah, yahoo, Yahweh, Yahweh. Yeah, yahoo, yeah, yahoo, Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahweh, 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 Yahweh. Manitou, Moskva, Manitou, Moskva, Manitou, Moskva, Manitou. Hey, hey, oh, hey, hey, oh, way, oh, hey. Way, hey, oh, way, hey, oh, way, oh, hey. Manitou, 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 Manitou. Yahweh, Manitou, Makwa, Manitou, Makwa, Manitou, Makwa, sweet place, way high, way high, Yahweh, oh hey. Yeah, Yahoo, 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 Yahweh, oh hey. 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 Manitou, Makwa, Manitou, Makwa, Manitu Wakwa Yahweh. Yahoo, 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 Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahoo, 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 Yahweh, Yahweh. Manitu Makwa, Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahweh, Yahweh. Yahweh, Yahweh. Itumakwa, manitumakwa, manitumakwa. Hey, so, grief and spiritual growth is a natural response to what we're going through, and it's a catalyst for spiritual growth. It's an opportunity to explore deeper aspects of oneself and find meaning in life's challenges. This is an invitation for each and every one of you to personally reflect on your own experience and how they influence your spiritual growth. Consider the following questions. How has grief shaped your perspective on life? What lessons have you learned from your experience? Whoops. And also, how have you found meaning and purpose in the face of adversity? And if you have any questions, please put it in the chat box. I do have a free gift for you all, Light After Loss gift from Lise, and you can scan it or you can put it in your scan it or grab the link. And please, if you know of anybody that's suffering right now, please let me know, because I'm here to serve people to the highest levels so that they can have the best life ever. What I'm up to now is I just created another program. It's the resiliency program, the ultimate resiliency program, and that's going to link you to this lightafterloss.ca gift from Lise, as well as that'll get you connected to me. And hopefully we can work together to partner to heal the pain of grief, because I don't want to see anybody suffer like I did. There's just too much life to live. And they say that life is a blink of an eye. And I want you to remember that a lot of times people get stuck in here when they're dealing with grief. An elder told me that as we're born in this life, it's the heart that comes first. The heart can heal everything. So just know that I'm here for each and every one of you. You don't have to go through this pain alone. Thank you for your time.